To leave. To leave. His stepdaughter was a golfer. His stepdaughter was a golfer. He enjoys reading books on history and politics. He enjoys reading books on history and politics. Isn't it finalized annually? Isn't it finalized annually? They completed the puzzle together. They completed the puzzle together. Some people prefer to live in the city, while others prefer to live in the countryside. Some people prefer to live in the city, while others prefer to live in the countryside. As long as you love me, I will never leave you. As long as you love me, I will never leave you. Do you have all natural products? Do you have all natural products? They may not be on guard after 3 hours. They may not be on guard after 3 hours. Consistency in public speaking practice leads to trust. Consistency in public speaking practice leads to trust. At noon we have to name. At noon we have to name. You should study for the exam. You should study for the exam. I should visit my grandparents more often. I should visit my grandparents more often. Are their stepdads archaeologists? Are their stepdads archaeologists? Can they review it later? Can they review it later? Are you leaving school? Are you leaving school? The color of the sky changes throughout the day. The color of the sky changes throughout the day. Where will you be at 6 o'clock? Where will you be at 6 o'clock? As soon as possible. As soon as possible. We watched a football match on TV. We watched a football match on TV. I attended a seminar to gain new knowledge. I attended a seminar to gain new knowledge. Happy. Happy. Was her sister a scavenger? Was her sister a scavenger? I completed the project on time. I completed the project on time. You analyze. You analyze. Can they settle in? Can they settle in? While the course was challenging, it was also very rewarding. While the course was challenging, it was also very rewarding. The bus was late due to a mechanical problem. The bus was late due to a mechanical problem. I can be a travel agent at sunrise. I can be a travel agent at sunrise. Will I not be a businessman next year? Will I not be a businessman next year? They can analyze immediately. They can analyze immediately. Is it made of leather? Is it made of leather? Sold out. Sold out. Wouldn't he want it then? Wouldn't he want it then? Have you finished your meal? Have you finished your meal? He will play football with his friends tomorrow. He will play football with his friends tomorrow. Now do you want to talk to me about my sons? Now do you want to talk to me about my sons? Can't we support for one afternoon? Can't we support for one afternoon? Won't they close next year? Won't they close next year? Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? 4 weeks from the police, right? 4 weeks from the police, right? Can I use my smartphone for payment? Can I use my smartphone for payment? Shouldn't we always be caregivers? Shouldn't we always be caregivers? Her mother-in-law was an astronomer. Her mother-in-law was an astronomer. They still haven't come to the restaurant. They still haven't come to the restaurant. I have to study for the English test tomorrow. I have to study for the English test tomorrow. My cousins were ambassadors. My cousins were ambassadors. Shall we start the presentation now? Shall we start the presentation now? The children build a sand castle. The children build a sand castle. Do you have a fever? Do you have a fever? The company's policy was insufficient to meet the needs of the employees. The company's policy was insufficient to meet the needs of the employees. I'm not curious, I'm just curious. I'm not curious, I'm just curious. The streets were flooded after the storm. The streets were flooded after the storm. Immediately imagines. Immediately imagines. He enjoys playing the piano in his spare time. He enjoys playing the piano in his spare time. To care about. To care about. Couldn't sleep because it was so noisy. Couldn't sleep because it was so noisy. I can speak Spanish and my cousin can too. I can speak Spanish and my cousin can too. Were your parents real estate agents? Were your parents real estate agents? You can't have a funeral after 3 days. You can't have a funeral after 3 days. He took a nap in the afternoon. He took a nap in the afternoon. They would visit their grandparents every summer. They would visit their grandparents every summer. Children are playing in the park. Children are playing in the park. She should have done vocals before. She should have done vocals before. Will I serve? Will I serve? If they had listened to the weather, they wouldn't have forgotten their umbrellas. If they had listened to the weather, they wouldn't have forgotten their umbrellas. He enjoys playing the guitar in his spare time. He enjoys playing the guitar in his spare time. Didn't he do it at sunrise? Didn't he do it at sunrise? They don't care. They don't care. There are too many books on your shelf. There are too many books on your shelf. Stop your car. Stop your car. Is your stepdaughter a bailiff? Is your stepdaughter a bailiff? They went to Thailand and visited many temples. They went to Thailand and visited many temples. I found an article explaining how to start your own business. I found an article explaining how to start your own business. I need an interpreter. I need an interpreter. He fixed the car. He fixed the car. To fall. To fall. Where can I find the beer and wine section? Where can I find the beer and wine section? The environment is very important to our survival. The environment is very important to our survival. Are we creating 4 afternoons? Are we creating 4 afternoons? Do you have to answer at 5 p.m.? Do you have to answer at 5 p.m.? The book was written by Mark Twain. The book was written by Mark Twain. Scalable. Scalable. I didn't have time for lunch. I didn't have time for lunch. It is not prepared every day. It is not prepared every day. My daughter was a librarian. My daughter was a librarian. I made pasta for dinner. I made pasta for dinner. I'll be attending the conference in Chicago next month. I'll be attending the conference in Chicago next month. As we talked. We'll meet at the restaurant, right? We'll meet at the restaurant, right? Is he a trainer? Is he a trainer? Cannot defend. Cannot defend. He had a green shirt. He had a green shirt. Please help. Why did you buy it? Please help. Why did you buy it? Will it hit at sunrise? Will it hit at sunrise? Better today. Better today. You can make a cake for your family. You can make a cake for your family. The money was stolen from the bank. The money was stolen from the bank. They visited a famous monument. They visited a famous monument. Your parents are air traffic controllers. Your parents are air traffic controllers. I want you to go home. I want you to go home. Do you have gluten-free options for cookies? Do you have gluten-free options for cookies? We shouldn't create every day. We shouldn't create every day. Then we won't be sailors. Then we won't be sailors. I tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. I tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. He doesn't eat meat. He doesn't eat meat. Am I going to school? Am I going to school? I wish I didn't have to deal with this problem. I wish I didn't have to deal with this problem. I've already cooked dinner. I've already cooked dinner. Can you help me with this heavy load? Can you help me with this heavy load? After a century, he should be a urologist. After a century, he should be a urologist. John bought the above items from the store. John bought the above items from the store. The company is looking for a new project manager. The company is looking for a new project manager. Work together. Work together. They said, we're having a party next week. They said, we're having a party next week. Do we need some people? Do we need some people? I would go home. I would go home. Cabbage. Cabbage. We're going on a trip to the beach next month. We're going on a trip to the beach next month. We are waiting for a reply from the A team regarding the solution of the problem. We are waiting for a reply from the A team regarding the solution of the problem. John is my friend. John is my friend. This is a beautiful beach. This is a beautiful beach. I was with Tom. I was with Tom. He had a cold last week. He had a cold last week. He goes to the library once a week. He goes to the library once a week. Fruit salad. Fruit salad. A politician should always be able to account for the money he receives. A politician should always be able to account for the money he receives. They cleaned their rooms. They cleaned their rooms. Wouldn't he attack at noon? Wouldn't he attack at noon? My son Tommy took the scholarship exam. My son Tommy took the scholarship exam. The report also advises educators and other adults working with children and adolescents to be aware of the potential impact of social media on young people and to provide support as needed. The report also advises educators and other adults working with children and adolescents to be aware of the potential impact of social media on young people and to provide support as needed. Working on marketing campaign. Working on marketing campaign. Our aunt was on the jury. Our aunt was on the jury. Let's set up a follow-up meeting to discuss the results. Let's set up a follow-up meeting to discuss the results. My father left home before I came. My father left home before I came. I can take a vacation next month. I can take a vacation next month. Wouldn't they normally argue? Wouldn't they normally argue? Were they dressed the night before? Were they dressed the night before? Did you make new friends at school? Did you make new friends at school? You always listen to music while driving. You always listen to music while driving. I wish I could fly like a bird. I wish I could fly like a bird. Maybe some cereal instead. Maybe some cereal instead. Anxiety. Anxiety. His half-brother was an actuary. His half-brother was an actuary. We watched movies all day. We watched movies all day. Can I return a product without its original packaging? Can I return a product without its original packaging? He's a dedicated athlete. He's a dedicated athlete. Can you quote from 2 months ago? Can you quote from 2 months ago? We may not be able to make beer occasionally. We may not be able to make beer occasionally. John as we speak. John as we speak. Do I arrest? Do I arrest? Did we rest at sunrise? Did we rest at sunrise? Can't you suppress? Can't you suppress? As we talked. As we talked. He does not teach. He does not teach. I was late for my meeting due to traffic jam. I was late for my meeting due to traffic jam. I am likely to like honest and sincere people. I am likely to like honest and sincere people. Were your grandchildren firefighters? Were your grandchildren firefighters? They should not set the decade. They should not set the decade. Let me see yours. Let me see yours. Contestant. Contestant. Those shoes are too big for me. Those shoes are too big for me. We listened to a podcast on the way. We listened to a podcast on the way. I bought 2 shirts. The striped one is for me, the plain one is for my friend. I bought 2 shirts. The striped one is for me, the plain one is for my friend. The car is fast. The car is fast. Can I be a weightlifter? Can I be a weightlifter? How much money do you have? How much money do you have? I have 2 sons and my eldest son's name is Tommy. This car is his. I have 2 sons and my eldest son's name is Tommy. This car is his. I was really impressed with the movie and can't wait to watch it again. I was really impressed with the movie and can't wait to watch it again. Scholarship. Scholarship. I am going to have breakfast. I am going to have breakfast. You prefer to stay at home. You prefer to stay at home. I'm running late. Do you know the fastest way to the conference room? I'm running late. Do you know the fastest way to the conference room? When do you finish your work? When do you finish your work? These are my travel documents. These are my travel documents. I will tell John. I will tell John. The director of the company resigned after a financial scandal. The director of the company resigned after a financial scandal. Then I assume. Then I assume. They may not rise later. They may not rise later. We used to gather as a family during the holidays. We used to gather as a family during the holidays. May arise. May arise. Today is their anniversary. Today is their anniversary. Why are you going to school? Why are you going to school? Would he play guitar in a band? Would he play guitar in a band? Let me know if you want to order dessert. Let me know if you want to order dessert. I support you as your teacher. I support you as your teacher. Why are you so angry with him? Why are you so angry with him? I wish I could turn back time and change my mind. I wish I could turn back time and change my mind. He is not visiting. He is not visiting. Is his stepbrother a trucker? Is his stepbrother a trucker? The conference will be held in October. The conference will be held in October. Last year to complain? Last year to complain? By the end of the year, I will have visited 5 different countries. By the end of the year, I will have visited 5 different countries. Your wife is a detective. Your wife is a detective. I threw a baseball with my friends. I threw a baseball with my friends. What is your favorite hobby? What is your favorite hobby? Overflow. Overflow. He may need your advice. He may need your advice. What's in your hand? What's in your hand? All my secrets. All my secrets. How long will he stay in Japan? How long will he stay in Japan? For example, if I had more money, I would buy a new car. If I had more money, I would buy a new car. It's exciting to try new things. It's exciting to try new things. I see you. I see you. Night. Night. Have you ever been to a music festival? Have you ever been to a music festival? Could the virologist be 10 years? Could the virologist be 10 years? He couldn't get it out. He couldn't get it out. Were you riding a rabbit? Were you riding a rabbit? We usually have a family game night. We usually have a family game night. I have a couple of dogs. I have a couple of dogs. I told you everything about me. I told you everything about me. They can't always be accepted. They can't always be accepted. It can help you communicate with people from all over the world. It can help you communicate with people from all over the world. Don't you eat occasionally? Don't you eat occasionally? We watched a horror movie in the cinema. We watched a horror movie in the cinema. Please, just let me explain. Please, just let me explain. Cannot warn. Cannot warn. We never sit. We never sit. He was washing the dishes after dinner. He was washing the dishes after dinner. We have never visited that museum. We have never visited that museum. Will usually include. Will usually include. Habit. Habit. Can we set up a meeting to discuss the progress of the project? Can we set up a meeting to discuss the progress of the project? I have to take the dog for a walk. I have to take the dog for a walk. He visited his grandparents last weekend. He visited his grandparents last weekend. He enjoys playing chess in his spare time. He enjoys playing chess in his spare time. They want to go shopping this afternoon. They want to go shopping this afternoon. How do you spell it? How do you spell it? Should I take it now? Should I take it now? Sorry for looking. Sorry for looking. Won't run Fortnite. Won't run Fortnite. They were trying on different dresses in the store. They were trying on different dresses in the store. Do you think I'm beautiful? Do you think I'm beautiful? Where will we get the result? Where will we get the result? We are planting flowers in the garden. We are planting flowers in the garden. We have been exploring the city since morning. We have been exploring the city since morning. She was painting for her art class. She was painting for her art class. Values friendship and loyalty. Values friendship and loyalty. By next summer I will have learned to speak Spanish fluently. By next summer I will have learned to speak Spanish fluently. Let's set up a follow-up meeting to discuss the results. Let's set up a follow-up meeting to discuss the results. We need to find a solution to this problem as soon as possible. We need to find a solution to this problem as soon as possible. I was disturbed by the noise outside. I was disturbed by the noise outside. I really look forward to spending time with my family and friends during the holidays. I really look forward to spending time with my family and friends during the holidays. I am the father of 3 children. I am the father of 3 children. The education system in the country needed reform. The education system in the country needed reform. His half-brother is an operator. His half-brother is an operator. The company will be hiring new employees soon. The company will be hiring new employees soon. If he performs well, he will be promoted. If he performs well, he will be promoted. Do you know English? Do you know English? Isn't he a locksmith every month? Isn't he a locksmith every month? They were excited for the upcoming trip. They were excited for the upcoming trip. My name is Tom. I was born in New York. Now I live in Germany. My name is Tom. I was born in New York. Now I live in Germany. Shouldn't there be a butcher every 2 weeks? Shouldn't there be a butcher every 2 weeks? Have you ever tried sushi? Have you ever tried sushi? Your half-sister was a teacher. Your half-sister was a teacher. How many days are there in a week? How many days are there in a week? We give direction at sunrise. We give direction at sunrise. He is studying for the final exams. He is studying for the final exams. You can't trust others, you have to do it yourself. You can't trust others, you have to do it yourself. Older people often need help. Older people often need help. Traceability. Traceability. We planted flowers in the garden to attract butterflies. We planted flowers in the garden to attract butterflies. You will not demand. You will not demand. I've been working on this project for weeks, he said. I've been working on this project for weeks, he said. Your grandmother is a comedian. Your grandmother is a comedian. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. The engineer was huge and very entertaining. The engineer was huge and very entertaining. You will have lunch with your colleagues in an hour. You will have lunch with your colleagues in an hour. He needs to set the table for dinner. He needs to set the table for dinner. His brother is an engineer. His brother is an engineer. I am not available. I am not available. The government has announced new policies to reduce pollution. The government has announced new policies to reduce pollution. Is your colleague an accountant? Is your colleague an accountant? Will roll. Will roll. My brother-in-law is assistant cook. My brother-in-law is assistant cook. Forest. Forest. The shop closes at 6 p.m. The shop closes at 6 p.m. We watched a documentary about nature. We watched a documentary about nature. Interpret. Interpret. Should I do? Should I do? I think she really likes him. I think she really likes him. Sometimes we have ice cream for dessert. Sometimes we have ice cream for dessert. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. Before, we were learning in 3 seconds. Before, we were learning in 3 seconds. I wish I didn't have to go to work tomorrow. I wish I didn't have to go to work tomorrow. I've finished my homework. I've finished my homework. We have guests in the gym. We have guests in the gym. Are we baristas next year? Are we baristas next year? Was his stepson the owner of the house? Was his stepson the owner of the house? He is a successful businessman and owns his own company. He is a successful businessman and owns his own company. Do they become traders after a year? Do they become traders after a year? I want to see you. I want to see you. Can you tell me why it's so late? Can you tell me why it's so late? He needs to find a new flat for rent. He needs to find a new flat for rent. He fixed the leaking faucet in the bathroom. He fixed the leaking faucet in the bathroom. Can you provide the required documents? Can you provide the required documents? If he had a map, he would find his way. If he had a map, he would find his way. Are they starting a war? Are they starting a war? I love climbing mountains and discovering new roads. I love climbing mountains and discovering new roads. They could send. They could send. We can't find the metro station. We can't find the metro station. Can they judge next year? Can they judge next year? His colleague is a lieutenant. His colleague is a lieutenant. I have toothache. I have toothache. Although it is difficult, we can do it. Although it is difficult, we can do it. If you go to bed late, you will be tired in the morning. If you go to bed late, you will be tired in the morning. I need to replace the batteries in the remote control. I need to replace the batteries in the remote control. Do you want me to stay? Do you want me to stay? I can't quite reach the top shelf. I can't quite reach the top shelf. By the time he finishes his studies, he will have already started working. By the time he finishes his studies, he will have already started working. Why don't I show you how to do this properly? Why don't I show you how to do this properly? Let me know if you need pen and paper. Let me know if you need pen and paper. They bought a new car last week. They bought a new car last week. Should not complain at noon. Should not complain at noon. The arrangement of the furniture makes the room appear smaller. The arrangement of the furniture makes the room appear smaller. The sunset was breathtakingly beautiful. The sunset was breathtakingly beautiful. Did he thank you? Did he thank you? Can't I race car driver after 2 hours? Can't I race car driver after 2 hours? The chef was fined for using expired ingredients. The chef was fined for using expired ingredients. I have a doctor's appointment. I'm leaving early today. I have a doctor's appointment. I'm leaving early today. Can you wait me? I'll be there soon. Can you wait me? I'll be there soon. Were there uncles senators? Were there uncles senators? You may not be able to analyze it right away. You may not be able to analyze it right away. The document was printed this morning. The document was printed this morning. Talent. Talent. The train leaves from platform 3. The train leaves from platform 3. We will send it to you after today. We will send it to you after today. Problem solved by my friend. Problem solved by my friend. The movie was shot in Hollywood. The movie was shot in Hollywood. People eat at restaurant. People eat at restaurant. He enjoys playing chess in his spare time. He enjoys playing chess in his spare time. Can you explain to me? Can you explain to me? We can discuss the problem after lunch. We can discuss the problem after lunch. Who has a pencil case on the floor? Who has a pencil case on the floor? Can you help me find the frozen food aisle? Can you help me find the frozen food aisle? If we had the ingredients, we could have made a cake. If we had the ingredients, we could have made a cake. The house is below average. The house is below average. What do you like to eat for breakfast? What do you like to eat for breakfast? He likes to play football. He likes to play football. 1 year later you will jump. 1 year later you will jump. Car red. Car red. How old is your grandfather? How old is your grandfather? Could you please sign this consent form? Could you please sign this consent form? Wouldn't you be a civil engineer in 2 days? Wouldn't you be a civil engineer in 2 days? Grandfather is operator. Grandfather is operator. I will blow. I will blow. I love going to the beach. I love going to the beach. Does it have to come closer in 3 minutes? Does it have to come closer in 3 minutes? I'm not sure if I'm the best fit for this job. I'm not sure if I'm the best fit for this job. Neighbor inspector. Neighbor inspector. Chatty. Chatty. To exercise. To exercise. Please stay calm and give yourself time to heal. Please stay calm and give yourself time to heal. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. They could not immediately become naturalists. They could not immediately become naturalists. Aren't we going to be rangers soon? Aren't we going to be rangers soon? They can always take aim. They can always take aim. Would you warn? Would you warn? We met our teacher in the library. We met our teacher in the library. Social. Social. We have been volunteering at the local shelter for a month. We have been volunteering at the local shelter for a month. Must buy. Must buy. Can I use my mobile wallet for payment? Can I use my mobile wallet for payment? I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie. Not everyone is as lucky as us. Not everyone is as lucky as us. The concert is scheduled for next week. The concert is scheduled for next week. Can you help me find my way to the student center? Can you help me find my way to the student center? I was going to tell you. I was going to tell you. They love to camp in the summer. They love to camp in the summer. I will not command in a year. I will not command in a year. 1 year later? 1 year later? He fixed the leaking faucet in the bathroom. He fixed the leaking faucet in the bathroom. He better apologize for his behavior. He better apologize for his behavior. He can speak English fluently. He can speak English fluently. We can't kick in the afternoon. We can't kick in the afternoon. Can't you draw? Can't you draw? A red apple is sweeter than a green one. A red apple is sweeter than a green one. Don't you defend 10 years? Don't you defend 10 years? There's some. There's some. Can you help Mary? Can you help Mary? Is your grandfather a vocalist? Is your grandfather a vocalist? They were talking about it on the phone. They were talking about it on the phone. We didn't pay every day. We didn't pay every day. Can't connect at sunrise? Can't connect at sunrise? Why are you studying English? Because I want to travel the world. Why are you studying English? Because I want to travel the world. Will he not give after 4 evenings? Will he not give after 4 evenings? The meeting was cancelled due to bad weather conditions. The meeting was cancelled due to bad weather conditions. I was not known on a daily basis. I was not known on a daily basis. We await your response. We await your response. I study English every day. I study English every day. Your husband was a physicist. Your husband was a physicist. He is riding a rabbit. He is riding a rabbit. Assumed 3 years ago? Assumed 3 years ago? Eye contact 10 years? Eye contact 10 years? You soon became a technician. You soon became a technician. Noon could not calculate. Noon could not calculate. They walked to the other side of the bridge. They walked to the other side of the bridge. The sun rises from the east. The sun rises from the east. The problem was caused by a misunderstanding. The problem was caused by a misunderstanding. Shouldn't he be a urologist at dawn? Shouldn't he be a urologist at dawn? Sorry for being late. Sorry for being late. Let me get my wallet before I leave. Let me get my wallet before I leave. I'll be doing my homework when he gets home. I'll be doing my homework when he gets home. Next year, he will have visited all the major cities of Europe. Next year, he will have visited all the major cities of Europe. We are excited to start our new business. We are excited to start our new business. I found my wallet. I found my wallet. Whose dog is barking? Whose dog is barking? He plays guitar in a band. He plays guitar in a band. I'm walking. I'm walking. He was supposed to attend the conference last week. He was supposed to attend the conference last week. Then at 4 a.m. he should have intercourse. Then at 4 a.m. he should have intercourse. The baby was sleeping soundly in his crib. The baby was sleeping soundly in his crib. I had been working at the computer for hours when it suddenly crashed and I lost all my progress. I had been working at the computer for hours when it suddenly crashed and I lost all my progress. They are made up of various backgrounds. They are made up of various backgrounds. The smell of the flowers blooming in the garden was beautiful. The smell of the flowers blooming in the garden was beautiful. He went to the library to borrow some books. He went to the library to borrow some books. On Mark's team. On Mark's team. He was supposed to attend the meeting this morning. He was supposed to attend the meeting this morning. I'm staying at the hotel. I'm staying at the hotel. I need to check the clipboard for new messages. I need to check the clipboard for new messages. Let me say. Let me say. Can I use my loyalty points for rewards? Can I use my loyalty points for rewards? Look at some common adjectives to describe foods. What kind of food do we use them often with? Look at some common adjectives to describe foods. What kind of food do we use them often with? Shouldn't it be adjusted for 1 week later? Shouldn't it be adjusted for 1 week later? We will run away. We will run away. How are you today? How are you today? We took a first aid course to help others in emergencies. We took a first aid course to help others in emergencies. I can be the commander at noon. I can be the commander at noon. Descendants were recruiters. Descendants were recruiters. I like to read books whenever I have free time. I like to read books whenever I have free time. Our half-brother is a travel agent. Our half-brother is a travel agent. Evening. Evening. They will be staying at home this weekend. They will be staying at home this weekend. The house is beyond the limits of possibility. The house is beyond the limits of possibility. Italian cuisine was served in the restaurant. Italian cuisine was served in the restaurant. They bought new clothes yesterday. They bought new clothes yesterday. When the concert is over, we will be singing together for 3 hours. When the concert is over, we will be singing together for 3 hours. Most probably. Most probably. We plan to go shopping later today. We plan to go shopping later today. A little. A little. Would they monk every week? Would they monk every week? Can you set up a meeting for next week? Can you set up a meeting for next week? If you need a meeting, we can arrange a meeting. If you need a meeting, we can arrange a meeting. We were neighbors for many years. We were neighbors for many years. I will visit my family. I will visit my family. Did they lie at night? Did they lie at night? I got a part-time job to save up for a new car. I got a part-time job to save up for a new car. Was his uncle a shepherd? Was his uncle a shepherd? Please and don't forget to say thank you. Please and don't forget to say thank you. Can you block? Can you block? After 4 days, he may not worry. After 4 days, he may not worry. They will be renovating their kitchen next month. They will be renovating their kitchen next month. They made a cake for a friend's birthday party. They made a cake for a friend's birthday party. He decided to run to clear his mind. He decided to run to clear his mind. Were my grandchildren riders? Were my grandchildren riders? They may not have known before. They may not have known before. Analysis of the data showed interesting results. Analysis of the data showed interesting results. Was her mother-in-law an aviator? Was her mother-in-law an aviator? As husband and wife. As husband and wife. Doesn't he complain? Doesn't he complain? If you don't finish your homework, you'll get a low grade. If you don't finish your homework, you'll get a low grade. Can't you go at dawn? Can't you go at dawn? You shouldn't use profanity in public. You shouldn't use profanity in public. Our brother is an apprentice. Our brother is an apprentice. The musicians will compose new songs for their album. The musicians will compose new songs for their album. I wish I had the opportunity to live abroad. I would learn a new language. I wish I had the opportunity to live abroad. I would learn a new language. Where are you working today? Where are you working today? Makes itself. Makes itself. I have a problem for the first time in my life. I have a problem for the first time in my life. You shouldn't be a contractor after 3 midnight. You shouldn't be a contractor after 3 midnight. He needs to be beaten occasionally. He needs to be beaten occasionally. The party is at a friend's house on New Year's Eve. The party is at a friend's house on New Year's Eve. You usually go for a run in the morning. You usually go for a run in the morning. We could have avoided the traffic by taking a different route. We could have avoided the traffic by taking a different route. We can go shopping after work. We can go shopping after work. A woman's non-spending year and how she survived. A woman's non-spending year and how she survived. Wasn't he the assistant chief every day? Wasn't he the assistant chief every day? A driver was sleeping in the car. A driver was sleeping in the car. I don't know you. I don't know you. Was our stepdaughter a coach? Was our stepdaughter a coach? The mistake was made by me. The mistake was made by me. We got ready for the party all day. We got ready for the party all day. How many spoons are in the drawer? How many spoons are in the drawer? Was it my mother-in-law? Was it my mother-in-law? Can't they assume? Can't they assume? Didn't have time for lunch. Didn't have time for lunch. I could run. I could run. He likes to swim in the pool. He likes to swim in the pool. Why are you late? Because my alarm didn't go off. Why are you late? Because my alarm didn't go off. In 2 seconds, I'm a meteorologist. In 2 seconds, I'm a meteorologist. He couldn't find his favorite book in the bookstore. He couldn't find his favorite book in the bookstore. The teacher is strict. The teacher is strict. If it's not cloudy, I'll go outside. If it's not cloudy, I'll go outside. 2. I don't notice anything special about the case. 2. I don't notice anything special about the case. I can go to class. I can go to class. We won't leave until we find the lost item. We won't leave until we find the lost item. He wishes he could travel to all the wonders of the world. He wishes he could travel to all the wonders of the world. The teacher writes on the whiteboard. The teacher writes on the whiteboard. She could dance gracefully on stage. She could dance gracefully on stage. You must always manage. You must always manage. We will live in 5 years. We will live in 5 years. He wishes he had finished reading before returning the book. He wishes he had finished reading before returning the book. The baby is crawling on the floor. The baby is crawling on the floor. I'll wait for you until you get home. I'll wait for you until you get home. Traveling is not comfortable. Traveling is not comfortable. I don't notice anything. I don't notice anything. I may be late for our appointment. I may be late for our appointment. Let me know when you need something. Let me know when you need something. I have never seen Istanbul. I have never seen Istanbul. We couldn't be a monthly songwriter. We couldn't be a monthly songwriter. We should always strive for excellence, even if it is challenging. We should always strive for excellence, even if it is challenging. Doesn't he need to invest after 4 hours? Doesn't he need to invest after 4 hours? Doesn't he play? Doesn't he play? We have the food delivered to our door. We have the food delivered to our door. We wouldn't refuse every day. We wouldn't refuse every day. We were able to manage 3 nights ago. We were able to manage 3 nights ago. He speaks fluent English. He speaks fluent English. They rarely go to the theater. They rarely go to the theater. I need to write a report for my boss. I need to write a report for my boss. Your nephew is a psychiatrist. Your nephew is a psychiatrist. Do you really think we will believe it? Do you really think we will believe it? He has played football all his life. He has played football all his life. We go for a walk on Sunday. We go for a walk on Sunday. Didn't start next year. Didn't start next year. It's hard to say goodbye. It's hard to say goodbye. What's in your hand? What's in your hand? Did they answer? Did they answer? We could notice. We could notice. May I take your temperature, sir? May I take your temperature, sir? Was he coming last year? Was he coming last year? Because I'm not hungry. Because I'm not hungry. He won several writing competitions. He won several writing competitions. What day is it today? What day is it today? This book is more interesting than that. This book is more interesting than that. Can't make cream often? Can't make cream often? You have to trade at night. You have to trade at night. My son Tommy took the scholarship exam. My son Tommy took the scholarship exam. I'm flying to New York next week. I'm flying to New York next week. If he had a map, he would find his way. If he had a map, he would find his way. Shouldn't it produce? Shouldn't it produce? What a fascinating story. What a fascinating story. My stepmother is an inspector. My stepmother is an inspector. We were not rarely sheriffs. We were not rarely sheriffs. I don't yawn often. I don't yawn often. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Let me know if you need directions. Let me know if you need directions. Should we serve weekly? Should we serve weekly? Uncertainty. Uncertainty. Will you please be quiet? Will you please be quiet? The problem was reported to the administrator. The problem was reported to the administrator. We can go after 4 nights. We can go after 4 nights. It will rain outside. It will rain outside. How much sugar would you like in your coffee? How much sugar would you like in your coffee? Did he suggest? Did he suggest? Shouldn't it be closer in 2 weeks? Shouldn't it be closer in 2 weeks? To trust. To trust. An air fryer is a healthier way to fry food. An air fryer is a healthier way to fry food. Today. Today. He is a firefighter and responds to emergencies. He is a firefighter and responds to emergencies. Left the house. Left the house. I have many values. I have many values. The game we watched last night was really funny. The game we watched last night was really funny. I don't know this word. I don't know this word. Can I get a magazine to read? Can I get a magazine to read? He went to the beach to relax and sunbathe. He went to the beach to relax and sunbathe. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Will they be born later? Will they be born later? Please set up a meeting. Please set up a meeting. Can I give you some instructions for your medications? Can I give you some instructions for your medications? As a result, we need to work harder. As a result, we need to work harder. What would you like to do? What would you like to do? Somebody else. Somebody else. How much does a pound of ground beef cost? How much does a pound of ground beef cost? My colleague was a spy. My colleague was a spy. We were able to stay focused throughout the day. We were able to stay focused throughout the day. It was cold and clear as we walked through the park. It was cold and clear as we walked through the park. We motivated ourselves to finish the race. We motivated ourselves to finish the race. I'll be giving a presentation in front of the class next month. I'll be giving a presentation in front of the class next month. The mistake was made by me. The mistake was made by me. Can I return a defective product? Can I return a defective product? Value. Value. Chronological. Chronological. In its place. In its place. Doesn't it help? Doesn't it help? He didn't get enough sleep last night and he's feeling tired. He didn't get enough sleep last night and he's feeling tired. Can you show me where the pet food is? Can you show me where the pet food is? The Tommy family, one of Argentina's wealthiest families. The Tommy family, one of Argentina's wealthiest families. Luckily. Luckily. If you don't come to me, I will be angry with you. If you don't come to me, I will be angry with you. He had been attending college for 4 years when he decided to leave. He had been attending college for 4 years when he decided to leave. Make your husband pay. Make your husband pay. They lived in the same city for years before they met each other. They lived in the same city for years before they met each other. They had planned to ski, but the slopes were closed due to snow. They had planned to ski, but the slopes were closed due to snow. We won't be babysitters every week. We won't be babysitters every week. She needs to practice her dance routine for the show. She needs to practice her dance routine for the show. I was so shy that I couldn't speak. I was so shy that I couldn't speak. Cancel. Cancel. Aren't you hurting now? Aren't you hurting now? Those flowers are beautiful. Those flowers are beautiful. I bought a book yesterday. I bought a book yesterday. We will be able to meet you at the airport. We will be able to meet you at the airport. Can I have a slice of cake, please? Can I have a slice of cake, please? Was not ignored. Was not ignored. We visited our elders yesterday. We visited our elders yesterday. Can I be your assistant? Can I be your assistant? He didn't build a wall one day ago. He didn't build a wall one day ago. I could have passed earlier at 3 a.m. I could have passed earlier at 3 a.m. Please use crutches to assist your mobility. Please use crutches to assist your mobility. Could you please turn off the lights on your way out? Could you please turn off the lights on your way out? After 5 nights we won't care. After 5 nights we won't care. The journal includes articles on healthy living and fitness. The journal includes articles on healthy living and fitness. He could speak French fluently when he was younger. He could speak French fluently when he was younger. The food is delicious. The food is delicious. Granddaughter is a vocalist. Granddaughter is a vocalist. I have an accent. I have an accent. Can they be night watchmen at noon? Can they be night watchmen at noon? Let's go over it one more time before we start the presentation. Let's go over it one more time before we start the presentation. There has been an increase. There has been an increase. The letter was sent yesterday. The letter was sent yesterday. Can you remind me of the meeting time and place? Can you remind me of the meeting time and place? He has been working on the research project since last year. He has been working on the research project since last year. The traffic in the city center is very heavy. The traffic in the city center is very heavy. We can't leave sooner. We can't leave sooner. The flowers will bloom in the spring. The flowers will bloom in the spring. Do they always have to blame? Do they always have to blame? How many people are in the cinema? How many people are in the cinema? What did I touch? What did I touch? Can I replace this product with a different color? Can I replace this product with a different color? Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. Shouldn't be a salesperson at dawn. Shouldn't be a salesperson at dawn. Usually a sportscaster. Usually a sportscaster. In 10 years I will buy a new house. In 10 years I will buy a new house. May arise. May arise. We can build this house. We can build this house. See you in a minute. See you in a minute. I have zero patience. I have zero patience. Can't make a weekly cream? Can't make a weekly cream? He bought a lottery ticket and won a prize as a result. He bought a lottery ticket and won a prize as a result. Why did you cancel your plans? He asked. Why did you cancel your plans? He asked. He hates crowded places. He hates crowded places. Waste. Waste. I will be on vacation until the end of the month. I will be on vacation until the end of the month. We often go to the beach in the summer. We often go to the beach in the summer. These pens are brand new. These pens are brand new. How can you be sure? How can you be sure? How many glasses are in the cupboard? How many glasses are in the cupboard? We went to the park to enjoy the sun. We went to the park to enjoy the sun. We will not be ambassadors right away. We will not be ambassadors right away. Was he the bartender now? Was he the bartender now? She had her hair done by a professional hairdresser. She had her hair done by a professional hairdresser. Shouldn't we run away from time to time? Shouldn't we run away from time to time? Although it was a difficult task, we managed to complete it. Although it was a difficult task, we managed to complete it. I think it's time for me to say goodbye. I think it's time for me to say goodbye. The letter was sent yesterday. The letter was sent yesterday. The letter was received yesterday. The letter was received yesterday. He has eaten sushi many times. He has eaten sushi many times. Any wine left in the bottle? Any wine left in the bottle? We have to pay the bills by the end of the month. We have to pay the bills by the end of the month. 2. I am going to the theater. 2. I am going to the theater. Can't we be a hematologist at 2 p.m.? Can't we be a hematologist at 2 p.m.? By other name. By other name. How did you walk? How did you walk? Yes, I wrote to Tony. Yes, I wrote to Tony. I was thinking about this summer. I was thinking about this summer. If you had set the alarm, we wouldn't have gotten much sleep. If you had set the alarm, we wouldn't have gotten much sleep. How far is Pattaya from Bangkok? How far is Pattaya from Bangkok? After 4 evenings, he may not fight. After 4 evenings, he may not fight. Is his neighbor a leader? Is his neighbor a leader? When the exam is over, I will be studying for 8 hours. When the exam is over, I will be studying for 8 hours. Was my grandfather a jockey? Was my grandfather a jockey? Rarely can they defend? Rarely can they defend? Should rarely be a manager. Should rarely be a manager. The issue discussed at the meeting has been resolved. The issue discussed at the meeting has been resolved. I work from Monday to Friday. I work from Monday to Friday. After 2 nights, they can become businessmen. After 2 nights, they can become businessmen. She baked a delicious pie for dessert. She baked a delicious pie for dessert. Were her aunts civil servants? Were her aunts civil servants? We were playing football in the park when it started to rain. We were playing football in the park when it started to rain. I want to write a book about a woman who wonders about the world. I want to write a book about a woman who wonders about the world. I've never had a job interview at Company X before. I've never had a job interview at Company X before. We will not travel at sunset. We will not travel at sunset. My parents were traveling to Europe last month. My parents were traveling to Europe last month. I have breakfast every morning. I have breakfast every morning. I have an advice for you. I have an advice for you. Basketball players will practice shooting for hours. Basketball players will practice shooting for hours. May not pass after a year. May not pass after a year. He often forgets his keys. He often forgets his keys. Says a lot. Says a lot. Sold 1 month ago. Sold 1 month ago. Then 1 in the morning it wouldn't shake. Then 1 in the morning it wouldn't shake. My friend told me, I bought a new laptop yesterday. My friend told me, I bought a new laptop yesterday. Now you can become an inspector. Now you can become an inspector. They usually walk to work. They usually walk to work. He enjoys playing video games with his friends. He enjoys playing video games with his friends. We won't leave until we find the lost item. We won't leave until we find the lost item. Possession of alcohol in public. Possession of alcohol in public. There is a dog in the park. There is a dog in the park. Some people prefer to live in the city, while others prefer to live in the countryside. Some people prefer to live in the city, while others prefer to live in the countryside. They may not be able to attend the ceremony. They may not be able to attend the ceremony. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Can you review? Can you review? I don't deserve to be treated like this. I don't deserve to be treated like this. Some of my favorite foods are pizza and ice cream. Some of my favorite foods are pizza and ice cream. Who did you see? Who did you see? I'll meet you at the library after class. I'll meet you at the library after class. The road is blocked. The road is blocked. The laptop he uses for gaming is powerful. The laptop he uses for gaming is powerful. His brother-in-law is a joker. His brother-in-law is a joker. I see John often. I see John often. What should I do? What should I do? I work as a teacher. I work as a teacher. The performance of the legendary actor left the audience in awe. The performance of the legendary actor left the audience in awe. Can we confess? Can we confess? Where will you fly from? Where will you fly from? Where will you stay? Where will you stay? The movie was so funny and I couldn't help laughing. The movie was so funny and I couldn't help laughing. I wish I knew how to fix cars, I could save on repairs. I wish I knew how to fix cars, I could save on repairs. Can I help with anything? Can I help with anything? Shouldn't they trade every week? Shouldn't they trade every week? When I get home, my parents will be here. When I get home, my parents will be here. He told me, I don't like spicy food. He told me, I don't like spicy food. Please stay here with me. Please stay here with me. Have you ever tried sushi before going to a Japanese restaurant? Have you ever tried sushi before going to a Japanese restaurant? Is our stepson an intensive care specialist? Is our stepson an intensive care specialist? And we tried everything and nothing worked. And we tried everything and nothing worked. To try. We visited our elders yesterday. We visited our elders yesterday. I need to have this surgery as soon as possible. I need to have this surgery as soon as possible. I won't wake up next year. I won't wake up next year. Are his half-brothers fishermen? Are his half-brothers fishermen? I used to take guitar lessons, but I quit. I used to take guitar lessons, but I quit. Do you have a spare pen? Do you have a spare pen? They have a guide. They have a guide. Is your colleague a pilot? Is your colleague a pilot? How much does this cost? How much does this cost? He is a successful investor and made a lot of money. He is a successful investor and made a lot of money. Construction workers had been working on the building for months before it was finally completed. Construction workers had been working on the building for months before it was finally completed. I will make a cake. I will make a cake. His sister was a songwriter. His sister was a songwriter. Is my daughter a lifeguard? Is my daughter a lifeguard? I'm sorry I knocked over your vase. I'm sorry I knocked over your vase. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. The flowers in the garden are in full bloom. The flowers in the garden are in full bloom. He said to me, I want to learn English. He said to me, I want to learn English. He wants to be a doctor in the future. He wants to be a doctor in the future. The boy, lost in the crowd, began to cry. The boy, lost in the crowd, began to cry. The movie, which was released last week, is a complete comedy. The movie, which was released last week, is a complete comedy. We must miss it often. We must miss it often. He was typing on his laptop when I entered the room. He was typing on his laptop when I entered the room. The car crashed into a tree. The car crashed into a tree. We do not ignore. We do not ignore. Can you get some milk on the way home, please? Can you get some milk on the way home, please? The boy seen playing the guitar is a talented musician. The boy seen playing the guitar is a talented musician. Sorry for the complete absence of flavor. Sorry for the complete absence of flavor. The sun is the brightest star in our solar system. The sun is the brightest star in our solar system. There is a secret cave under the surface. There is a secret cave under the surface. You should turn off the lights when you leave the room. You should turn off the lights when you leave the room. When are you going to school? When are you going to school? May not have specified before. May not have specified before. I won't want to go home. I won't want to go home. Sounds very exciting. Sounds very exciting. Silver is also a precious metal. Silver is also a precious metal. He was playing tennis on the local court. He was playing tennis on the local court. Both options have their pros and cons. Both options have their pros and cons. It's beyond the scope of my home knowledge. It's beyond the scope of my home knowledge. She has been doing yoga for years. She has been doing yoga for years. Will you close after a weekend? Will you close after a weekend? I'm folding laundry. I'm folding laundry. She cooked a delicious meal. She cooked a delicious meal. Do you climb? Do you climb? I will seize every opportunity that comes my way. I will seize every opportunity that comes my way. He told me, I don't like spicy food. He told me, I don't like spicy food. They are usually not attractive. They are usually not attractive. Didn't you play 3 nights ago? Didn't you play 3 nights ago? Your decision. Your decision. Sincere. Sincere. Was your father a manager? Was your father a manager? Do you eat apple? Do you eat apple? She has been working as a teacher since last month. She has been working as a teacher since last month. Could he have been a psychiatrist 5 centuries ago? Could he have been a psychiatrist 5 centuries ago? Why be? Why be? I got off the bus at the wrong stop. I got off the bus at the wrong stop. Can it produce immediately? Can it produce immediately? I will finish this workout and stretch after that. I will finish this workout and stretch after that. Won't I yell in 2 weeks? Won't I yell in 2 weeks? Let me know if you want to order dessert. Let me know if you want to order dessert. He disciplined himself to study every day. He disciplined himself to study every day. Shouldn't I always be an orthopedist? Shouldn't I always be an orthopedist? I usually don't ask. I usually don't ask. What did I touch? What did I touch? Don't we feel sometimes? Don't we feel sometimes? Is their spouse a hairdresser? Is their spouse a hairdresser? Can't be the organizer after 2 centuries? Can't be the organizer after 2 centuries? Finally, after a long journey, we arrived at our destination. Finally, after a long journey, we arrived at our destination. Our friend was an educator. Our friend was an educator. Are you threatening? Are you threatening? If you save money, you can buy something nice later. If you save money, you can buy something nice later. Central Park is a popular tourist destination. Central Park is a popular tourist destination. What's wrong with Sam? What's wrong with Sam? How do you make a living? How do you make a living? My favorite food is pizza, but my sister prefers sushi. My favorite food is pizza, but my sister prefers sushi. What's happening? What's happening? 2 months ago, can't I be an actor? 2 months ago, can't I be an actor? I came across an interesting article on social media. I came across an interesting article on social media. Didn't he attack 5 years ago? Didn't he attack 5 years ago? You should be more careful when crossing the street. You should be more careful when crossing the street. He enjoys watching movies with his family on weekends. He enjoys watching movies with his family on weekends. We shouldn't be challenged at sunrise. We shouldn't be challenged at sunrise. Do you have any suggestions to improve our workflow? Do you have any suggestions to improve our workflow? They told us, we've already booked the tickets. They told us, we've already booked the tickets. She enjoys cooking Asian cuisine. She enjoys cooking Asian cuisine. I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair. I love the warm weather we have. I love the warm weather we have. If you come to my house, we'll cook the dinner. If you come to my house, we'll cook the dinner. He had a cup of coffee before going to work. He had a cup of coffee before going to work. I went to the school today. I went to the school today. After 3 months we have to convince. After 3 months we have to convince. They don't leave later in the morning. They don't leave later in the morning. She wants to learn to speak Spanish. She wants to learn to speak Spanish. Breaking point. Breaking point. Will you be able to attend the meeting tomorrow? Will you be able to attend the meeting tomorrow? We knew from the beginning that this would be a difficult task. We knew from the beginning that this would be a difficult task. That geologist every day? That geologist every day? There was no printing. There was no printing. Doesn't she usually work as a waitress? Doesn't she usually work as a waitress? Can it build? Can it build? We help them find their way. We help them find their way. Was his uncle a shepherd? Was his uncle a shepherd? They will buy a new car next year. They will buy a new car next year. I had a cheeky grin on my face. I had a cheeky grin on my face. Shouldn't they seldom have to deal with it? Shouldn't they seldom have to deal with it? You work daily. You work daily. He is a very reliable person. He is a very reliable person. His sister was an inventor. His sister was an inventor. Shouldn't it match? Shouldn't it match? I shouldn't change. I shouldn't change. When the concert is over, we will be singing together for 3 hours. When the concert is over, we will be singing together for 3 hours. Was our neighbor a businesswoman? Was our neighbor a businesswoman? A good cook. A good cook. It should not be sent after 1 year. It should not be sent after 1 year. They have been married for 10 years and have 2 children. They have been married for 10 years and have 2 children. I read news online every day. I read news online every day. My son came home last night. My son came home last night. Let's go inside. Let's go inside. Get bored. Get bored. I'm going to the game tonight. I'm going to the game tonight. Have you ever been to a concert? Have you ever been to a concert? Definite. Definite. I'm going to have to miss your concert because I have to work. I'm going to have to miss your concert because I have to work. I did not study the material thoroughly and, as a result, did not understand the lesson. I did not study the material thoroughly and, as a result, did not understand the lesson. Could not add. Could not add. Could this be a potential problem in the future? Could this be a potential problem in the future? Would he touch? Would he touch? I'm talking. I'm talking. The company was losing money last year. The company was losing money last year. They came at noon. They came at noon. Couldn't he sometimes point out? Couldn't he sometimes point out? Why are you so angry with him? Why are you so angry with him? They couldn't hide a minute ago. They couldn't hide a minute ago. The room is empty. The room is empty. Sometimes not an ecologist? Sometimes not an ecologist? We are closed on weekends. We are closed on weekends. Shouldn't we cut it after a century? Shouldn't we cut it after a century? I have to buy a new car. I have to buy a new car. I have more grapes than Sam. I have more grapes than Sam. Shouldn't they get off the ship? Shouldn't they get off the ship? The report has been fixed for errors. The report has been fixed for errors. There are no cookies in the jar. There are no cookies in the jar. My brother has a dog named Max. My brother has a dog named Max. I have to. I have to. Who has a laptop? Who has a laptop? Is his neighbor a leader? Is his neighbor a leader? Your mother is a shepherd. Your mother is a shepherd. Did you read the book before watching the series? Did you read the book before watching the series? Mary is smarter than Peter. Mary is smarter than Peter. Will it go away after 5 weeks? Will it go away after 5 weeks? Were we always alive? Were we always alive? Can he handle the afternoon? Can he handle the afternoon? The pine trees sway gently in the breeze. The pine trees sway gently in the breeze. You must arrive on time for the appointment. You must arrive on time for the appointment. The exam was more difficult than I expected. The exam was more difficult than I expected. Can't we pour it later? Can't we pour it later? We would like to invite you to our wedding. We would like to invite you to our wedding. I would reflect. I would reflect. The party is on the first day of spring. The party is on the first day of spring. No, never give up, Neil. No, never give up, Neil. Won't they improve? Won't they improve? She danced at the party last night. She danced at the party last night. Custom. Custom. Can I use a mobile wallet for payment? Can I use a mobile wallet for payment? Attractive. Attractive. They can go on a world tour. They can go on a world tour. The legacy of his humanitarian work lives on. The legacy of his humanitarian work lives on. His English is better than mine. His English is better than mine. He writes emails to his friends. He writes emails to his friends. All tickets are sold out. All tickets are sold out. I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for what I said. I want one of these. I want one of these. Will you not undertake? Will you not undertake? Can they become a secretary right away? Can they become a secretary right away? Can we complain? Can we complain? Didn't he recognize someone earlier in the morning? Didn't he recognize someone earlier in the morning? Should not threaten after one night. Should not threaten after one night. He told me, I don't like broccoli. He told me, I don't like broccoli. If he had a bike, he would go to school with it. If he had a bike, he would go to school with it. We have no finished tickets. We have no finished tickets. We had already finished the project before the deadline. We had already finished the project before the deadline. Can't move now? Can't move now? They are locked. They are locked. His friend is an inventor. His friend is an inventor. Traceability. Traceability. What is the Wi-Fi password? What is the Wi-Fi password? Become botanists bi-weekly? Become botanists bi-weekly? Can I get rain control if the product is on sale? Can I get rain control if the product is on sale? Can you meet? Can you meet? Otherwise. Otherwise. They will not start construction until they get the permits. They will not start construction until they get the permits. I need to find a new job as soon as possible. I need to find a new job as soon as possible. They slept late on Saturday. They slept late on Saturday. The museum had fascinating exhibits about ancient civilizations. The museum had fascinating exhibits about ancient civilizations. Discussions on the new education policy continued for several hours. Discussions on the new education policy continued for several hours. Can't it be cream? Can't it be cream? He's going to cook for us tonight. He's going to cook for us tonight. They go to school on their bikes. They go to school on their bikes. In 5 seconds, you won't be a director. In 5 seconds, you won't be a director. Didn't work out? Didn't work out? He likes listening to music. He likes listening to music. His aunt was a chemist. His aunt was a chemist. Will not visit. Will not visit. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm not perfect. He will graduate from university in June. He will graduate from university in June. I enjoy listening to music. I enjoy listening to music. My grandchildren weather presenter. My grandchildren weather presenter. The surgery seems successful. The surgery seems successful. We will not analyze every year. We will not analyze every year. Can't he blame? Can't he blame? If you study regularly, you will improve your grades. If you study regularly, you will improve your grades. Can't it be at sunrise? Can't it be at sunrise? Is your husband a landscape architect? Is your husband a landscape architect? Must hate the moon. Must hate the moon. I wish I had taken a different path. I wish I had taken a different path. The elephant is the largest land animal. The elephant is the largest land animal. He should have studied harder for the exam. He should have studied harder for the exam. We can be successful every day. We can be successful every day. A product is something made by a process. A product is something made by a process. The dog chased its tail in circles. The dog chased its tail in circles. 4 afternoons can they focus? 4 afternoons can they focus? Are relatives hairdressers? Are relatives hairdressers? Can you play the piano? Can you play the piano? Should not leave every day. Should not leave every day. He bought new shoes. He bought new shoes. What are you doing? What are you doing? Was your grandfather an artist? Was your grandfather an artist? What a great idea. What a great idea. He drew a portrait of his sister. He drew a portrait of his sister. Am I the referee every day? Am I the referee every day? Crab salad. Crab salad. By the time he finishes his presentation, he will have already started the meeting. By the time he finishes his presentation, he will have already started the meeting. He attended all classes, so he passed the course. He attended all classes, so he passed the course. I am no longer happy. I am no longer happy. We must abide by the rules and regulations. We must abide by the rules and regulations. Can be stored immediately. Can be stored immediately. I am happier today than yesterday. I am happier today than yesterday. Is your grandfather an officer? Is your grandfather an officer? I graduated 6 months ago. I graduated 6 months ago. Athletes will train for the next championship. Athletes will train for the next championship. Can I get some help carrying these foods? Can I get some help carrying these foods? Cannot calculate. Cannot calculate. We will have dinner at 6. We will have dinner at 6. You promised. You promised. Strengthen teams. Strengthen teams. His stepfather is a rower. His stepfather is a rower. He will visit his grandparents during the summer vacation. He will visit his grandparents during the summer vacation. My head is aching. My head is aching. They rode bikes in the park. They rode bikes in the park. Raw beets. Raw beets. Where can I find the frozen food section? Where can I find the frozen food section? Do you have gluten-free options for pastries? Do you have gluten-free options for pastries? It often rains in this city. It often rains in this city. I am also good. I am also good. If I find my keys, we can go. If I find my keys, we can go. Tomorrow morning I will get up early to go jogging. Tomorrow morning I will get up early to go jogging. He had already decided to study abroad before applying to university. He had already decided to study abroad before applying to university. It may not have been a soldier last year. It may not have been a soldier last year. How about going for a walk after work? How about going for a walk after work? The teacher is teaching the lesson. The teacher is teaching the lesson. Was your neighbor a merchant? Was your neighbor a merchant? We had the broken lock replaced with a locksmith. We had the broken lock replaced with a locksmith. Can I experience it every day? Can I experience it every day? They should listen to their teachers in the classroom. They should listen to their teachers in the classroom. Isn't she cold? Isn't she cold? Couldn't he advertise later? Couldn't he advertise later? We will watch movies together. We will watch movies together. They will go on a sea voyage next year. They will go on a sea voyage next year. Don't we, Carrie? Don't we, Carrie? I had a great time at the party last night. I had a great time at the party last night. I don't want to lose sight of many things. I don't want to lose sight of many things.